Hello, I'm Todd Baldwin, and I'd like to talk to you today about how to tune your trombone. The most important part of your tuning experience is to start with a quality sound. Often, if our slide positions are not in the right place, we're going to tend to make adjustments to the pitch using our embouchure, which will tend to pinch your sound or give you an airy sound, and it's going to wear out your chops. So I recommend, of course, we always want to get our best sound all the time anyway. So at the beginning of your practice session, practice some long tones. Try to remind yourself of where that center is for your pitches and what it feels like. And that way, when you're playing, in the midst of playing, you can focus on keeping that center to the sound, and you'll be more aware of when you're adjusting with the embouchure. The main tuning control you have is with your hand slide. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. But right now, we'll just do some simple exercises with some long tones, and we're going to bend the tones. And I think anyone can do this. You'll find that you can bend a pitch up or down, but there's a middle part of that feels the best and will have the most resonance and a thickness to the sound that you can feel and hear. So we're going to just start on fourth line F. I'm just playing that note a couple times to try to get the most resonance that I can on the note. I'm trying to hear the sound of the note throughout the room, try to make things vibrate in the room. Those are good indications that you're getting a resonant sound. And then once I've done that, we can experiment with bending the pitch up or down. Okay, I don't know how good the tone quality is going to be on this recording, the fidelity, but I think you can probably hear how the tone quality changes as I go above or below that center point. Okay, and I think you'll find that once you find that center, it's a lot easier to maintain the note. It takes a lot less energy, and you'll be able to play that note longer with less air. Okay, so we're going to do that same exercise on tuning note B flat, back down to the F, low B flat, and back up. Okay, and once I find the center, then I'm going to just try to honk on that for a little bit and enjoy that sound, and just to remind my ears and my embouchure what that feels like. Now the F. You may also be able to feel that as you bend the pitch up or down, your lips will tend to tighten. And then when I find the center of that pitch, I feel like I can keep my lips, the lip tissue inside of the mouthpiece, more relaxed. Of course, this needs to stay firm, but this can be fairly mushy, as mushy as you can make it on any given note. As you go higher, of course, it will get tighter, gradually tighter. Now down to the second line B flat. Also, as I do that, I'm reminded that your oral cavity is important there. You want to try to keep the oral cavity round as possible, as if you have a light bulb inside of your mouth and you don't want to break it. You're opening up as much as you can, keeping decent sized space between the teeth, and enough to put your finger in or a pencil between. All right, and then the lips will be fairly closed but mushy. And you'll find that that note you can bend quite a bit. Okay, so then from there I would go and maybe play some scales or a simple song just to make sure that I'm maintaining that sense of fullness in the sound. I guess I'm kind of thinking like an opera singer. I'm trying to project my sound. Okay, so from there, then we've sort of worked on getting that center to the pitch, to the pitch. Then we can work on finding our slide positions by using alternates. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean. This F, middle F, many of you know, you can also play it in sixth position. Well, you can use that comparison between the two as an aid in finding sixth position, especially if you have a straight horn and you don't have the F attachment. And as a beginner especially, you're going to be going out to sixth position a lot. Where is that? All right, to confirm it, you use this middle F and you go out to the sixth position F and you compare the two for pitch. You want the pitch to stay the same to your ear right now. We're not using a tuner. And I think it's good to develop your ear as a tuning aid first before you go to the tuner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slur out to the F. I want those to sound exactly the same, or at least as close as I can come using my ear. Okay, once I've done that, then I start developing a memory with my slide arm as to where that sixth position is. This would be a good exercise to do on a daily basis, just to remind yourself and to check in to validate that you're not going too short or too long on sixth position. So from there, I would take the two Fs and then jump down to a C. And now I've kind of boxed in those positions. I played F and B flat in first position. Then I use my memory of sixth position to go out to the C, back up to the F in sixth, and then I confirm that F by coming back into first position. So I guess we would call that the box tuning. Right now, I don't feel like I'm matching the F immediately. I feel like I'm having to make some adjustments. So I want to work with it a little bit until I feel like I'm really just arriving there and it's in tune. Okay, can't say I'm 100% satisfied with that, but I'm getting as close as I can, right? Obviously, if we want to really fine tune that, we would use a tuner at some point. But for the first steps, I don't think it's a good idea to rely on it. I think you should develop your own sense of pitch relative from one note to another relative to themselves on your instrument. Okay, so we can do that same exercise on B flat, tuning note B flat. You can also play in a sharp fifth position. How sharp? Well, it can change from day to day, but your ear is the guide. Okay, now I'm going to take that box drill, F down to B flat, out to C, up to F. Then I'm going to go up one further, up to the B flat in fifth and into first, okay? And hopefully the fifth position B flat will match first position. Okay, it's close, but I feel like I'm making adjustments once I arrive to the note. So I know that I need to work on that some more. And we could drive ourselves crazy with this. So I'm going to try it one more time and then save it for another day. Okay, from there, we can extend that tuning to go up to the D in first position, D in fourth position. And up to F above the staff even. Interesting to note is you can play F above the staff in fourth position as well. But the fourth position for the D is going to be different than the fourth position for the F. And there's no sense in trying to get scientific about this and say, you know, D is so many inches out from the slide and F is, you know, an 1/8 inch shorter. You just have to use your ear and build up your muscle memory for where those notes belong. So if you look here, my slide is quite a bit past the bell for that D. Okay, now we'll check it with the F. slide is, I don't know, maybe even with the bell, it's a little closer in. Okay, so there's probably that much of an adjustment. And notice that I'm making this adjustment just basically with the fingers and wrist. Okay. Good slide technique is really important for tuning. That's where you do your micro tuning. I kind of feel like I'm just using the knuckles on my hand to make those small adjustments. All right, so if your slide is not working well, then you need to have some work done on it. First of all, I would recommend the Yamaha trombone slide lubricant. That's the easiest stuff to use on your slide. All right. You never want to use valve oil on your slide, which is often included with the beginner instruments. Take the valve oil out of your case and throw it in the trash, or give it to your buddy who plays trumpet or baritone. One drop on each slide. That's all that takes. Okay? And you get a very smooth slide. If that doesn't do the trick for you, then you need to clean your slide. That's another topic. And if that doesn't do it, then you need to take it to your repairman. Okay? But there's no way you're going to be tuning your instrument if you have to fight the slide. You want a well-oiled machine, right? Okay, so the alternate positions are a great exercise. Let's see, let me take that box drill, which is becoming more of a misshapen rectangle at this point, but I'm going to take it up to the F. Okay, and so hopefully those two Fs will match, and anywhere along the way you can tune your Fs, your B flat, your D, etc. Okay, so those are good places for developing your sense of how far to go out on the slide. Next thing I like to do with tuning is playing octaves. And I always start in the low register because those low notes are richer in harmonics. You can hear a lot of the higher frequencies ringing in that note. In fact, I can isolate some of those frequencies just by raising my tongue in my mouth, by changing my vowel sounds. I don't know if that'll come out on the recording, but I'm going to try it. Did you hear the high frequency? So that's something that exists in your sound, but I was just kind of filtering the harmonics around it so that pops out more. By keeping your tongue low, you get a more homogeneous sound and you don't have those harmonics popping out. So it's a rounder sound. Where was I? Okay, so with the low notes you can hear more of the harmonics, so it's easier to imagine when I'm playing the low B flat, what the high B flat would sound like if played in conjunction with it. Okay, I hope this is not too confusing, but when I play this note, I'm listening in my mind for what would that note sound like if it's contained within that bottom note. Okay, we can combine that type of exercise. Now, who knows if those were perfectly in tune, right? But all we can do right now at this point is use our imagination and hear those sounds in our head and try to duplicate them, okay? I think it's an important skill to develop. We can use that box drill, but this time we're going to go take it down to a low F. Okay. Now if I go back to the exercise I was doing, going down in half steps, down one position at a time with the octave, eventually I'll get to sixth position. Well, how do I know if my positions have been too close together or too far apart at this point? Well, you can use that sixth position as a good confirmation that you're in the right place. So I'll work my way down through the octaves, first, second, third, fourth, fifth position, and then sixth position. I'll come up to the fourth line F in sixth position and then confirm it with first position. And I'll have to say that that upper pitch to me is not resonating like I want. It sounds kind of woofy. So in my normal practice, I would kind of isolate that note and work on it further. Okay, so by the time I got back to that, I felt like I was a little bit flat in the first position. I had to kind of lip it up, okay? So I'm working to perfection, but I haven't gotten there yet, okay? And most likely you haven't either. So we'll continue to practice these on a daily basis. Now, I took a lot of time to go through this, but if you would just spend 5 minutes a day with that, starting out with some long tones, finding the center of the pitch, getting used to what that feels like, and expecting yourself to play on every note with that level of centeredness. And then you do the alternate position boxing drills, octaves, and then you're done. I think that's a good start to playing in tune on your instrument. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't too confusing. This is my first attempt at making a video. So thanks for hanging in there, and I look forward to making some more videos in the future. Take care. Bye.